This particular test question is so tricky. It's like trying to fold a fitted sheet perfectly. You think you've got it, but it ends up crumpled mess, and nobody has the answer. You're presented with 3 pyramids. Each pyramid has 3 numbers on the outside and 1 number inside. In the first pyramid, the numbers are 27, 16, and 33, and the inside number is 16. In the second pyramid, the numbers are 25, 34, and 46 on the outside, and the inside number is 15. And on the last pyramid, the inside number is 14, and the numbers on the outside are 34, 47, and then comes the missing number, which you need to determine and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 52, choice B, 53, choice C, 54, and last but not least, choice D, 55. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Hey, whether you're a current subscriber actively tackling these questions or someone contemplating a subscription in the future, I have complete faith in your ability to overcome this challenge. Just make sure to grant yourself sufficient time for the contemplation. Are you ready? I am going to continue this adventure. Let's navigate together through the complexities and exchange solutions. Your insights could be the key to unlocking this mystery. And speaking about mysteries, I gotta share the secret with you. Only 1 digit from the whole number is used in the calculations here. So, for example, in the first pyramid, instead of using numbers 27, 16, and 33 to calculate the middle number 16, only numbers 7, 6, and 3 are used in the calculations. And sum of 7, 6 plus 3 is exactly 16. If you look at the second pyramid, the numbers 5, 4, and 6 are used in the calculation. And sum of 5, 4, and 6 is 15. So for the missing number, we need to build a quick equation. Because we know the final number 14 and 2 of the numbers used in the calculations, 4 and 7, we can build a quick equation. 14 minus 4 minus 7 equals 3. So the calculated digit here is 3, and the missing number is choice B, 53. You can't argue, but with this question, you're not just a participant. You are a maestro leading the orchestra of your own potential. Let your brilliance resonate in your answer as well to help you accomplish your goals on your journey. You're presented with 3 by 3 square. Each cell in the square has a number. The numbers starting with the first column are 57, 89, and 99. The middle column has numbers 12, 17, and 18. And then the last column has numbers 3, 8, and then comes the missing number, which you need to calculate and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 7, choice B, 8, choice C, 9, and last but not least, choice D, 10. If you think it's a tricky question, you are not alone. I think exactly the same way. But fear not, you're in a good company here on this channel. Whether you're a seasoned problem solver or just starting out, I have confidence in your abilities. Pause for a moment, channel your inner creativity, and let's conquer this challenge side by side. Your solution is just around the corner. Are you prepared with your solution? I am curious to compare the notes, so I am moving forward so we can share our answers. If you look closely, you can easily recognize the pattern. The calculations here are organized in each row from left to right. Next number in the row is calculated as the sum of digits from the previous one. Let's look at the first row calculations. The number in the upper left corner is 57. 5 plus 7 equals 12, and 1 plus 2 equals 3. Let's look at the second row. Second row starts with the number 89. 8 plus 9 equals 17. And then 1 plus 7 equals 8. The third row starts with the number 99. 9 plus 9 equals 18. So to calculate the missing number, we need to add 1 plus 8, and the result of this is 9. So the correct answer here is choice C, 9. Hold on to your thinking cap, because we are about to embark on a cognitive roller coaster that's more perplexing than trying to assemble IKEA furniture. You're presented with the series of unusually looking shapes. Shapes consist of triangles and circles, and they also have numbers on the inside. The numbers in the first shape are 3, 2, and 11. The numbers in the second shape are 2, 3, and 12. And the numbers in the third shape are 2 and 4. And then the third number is missing. You need to calculate the missing number and select your answer out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 15. Choice B, 17. Choice C, 19. And last but not least, choice D, 21. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. Let me give you a little bit of confidence. As we navigate through this mathematical maze, don't worry. I think I've got the map, but if my map is wrong, I'm pretty sure you will help me with the solution. With that in mind, let's move forward and I'll share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better or more efficient way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. If you are a subscriber or might be considering to be a subscriber, you're probably well aware that the best way to calculate these values is to determine the pattern. And then the pattern in this case is that the rightmost value is calculated as a left value raised in the power of middle value, and then value of 3 is added to the result. For example, let's look at the first shape. The shape has values 2, 3, and 11. 2 in the power of 3 plus 3 equals 8 plus 3 and equals 11. Let's look at the second example. 3 in the power of 2 plus 3 equals 9 plus 3 and equals 12. The most important tip to solve these types of challenges is remembering calculated exponents for basic numbers, which is crucial to recognizing these types of patterns. For example, 2 in the power of 2 equals 4, 2 in the power of 3 equals 8, 2 in the power of 4 equals 16, 3 in the power of 2 equals 9, and etc. This helps us calculate the missing value, where 4 in the power of 2 plus 3 equals 16 plus 3 and equals 19. So the correct answer here is choice C, 19. With this question, it's pretty clear that explaining data analytics to your grandma is like decoding a complex algorithm with a punchline. The interpretation might be fuzzy, but the laughter is always in the regression. You're presented with 4 words, and you need to determine the one that is misspelled. The words are choice A, concatenation, choice B, normalization, choice C, aggregation, and last but not least, choice D, duplication. Feel that you stumbled upon a tough task? Well, it's not one of those your grandma questions. I can tell you this, it's a serious data analytics business, but you are not alone in this journey. Whether you're a problem-solving veteran or newcomer, I believe in your capabilities. Take a moment to reflect, tap into your creativity, and let's tackle this challenge together. Your answer is just waiting to be discovered. Are you ready with your answer? Let's move forward so we can sync up the solutions. To be able to best answer this question, let's understand the meaning of each word. Concatenation stands for merging or combining 2 or more things, such as datasets or strings, into a single entity. Normalization is adjusting and scaling data to a standard format or range for consistent analysis. Aggregation is summarizing or combining data to obtain overall insights or totals. And last but not least, duplication is creating identical copies of data or records within a dataset. I'm pretty sure you figured it by now. The misspelled word is choice C, aggregation. The correct spelling is A-G-G, 2 G's here in this word, R-E-G-A-T-I-O-N. Are you ready for a cognitive acrobatics session to exercise your analytical skills? This puzzle is so mind-bending, it once confused a mathematician into thinking 2 plus 2 equals 2. You're presented with the series of equations. The first one is 1 plus 3 equals 4. The second one is 3 plus 5 equals 12. The third one is 5 plus 6 equals 23. And the fourth one is 7 plus 9, and this is where you need to calculate the missing number. Once calculated, make sure to select the missing number out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 39. Choice B, 42. Choice C, 49. And last but not least, Choice D, 56. Time to exercise those brain cells. This puzzle is more intricate than assembling Swedish furniture with vague instructions. Are you ready? Let's decipher it and celebrate our victorious aha moments together. I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. The most interesting thing about this challenge is the pattern. You need to add the result of the previous row calculations to the sum of the numbers in the left in the next row to calculate the result of the next row. Let's look at the examples to make it clear. For example, row 1's math totally makes sense. 1 plus 3 does equal 4. But when we look to row 2, 3 plus 5 does not equal to 12. And this is where we would need to add the result of the previous calculations, 4 to 3 plus 5, and then it does equal 12. I'm going to leave you with the important tip here. To solve these types of puzzles, you need to think creatively out of the box and consider that the calculations may not always be standard math calculations in the way they appear. Let's continue going through the examples. To calculate the value of row 3, we need to bring the result of the row 2 calculations 12, then add 5, then add 6, and the result would be 23. So for the missing value, row 4, the result will be 23 plus 7 plus 9, which would be equal to 39. So the correct answer here is choice A, 39. And now you can challenge yourself with this puzzling assessment test question by keeping in mind, though, that the process of finding the answer sharpens your ability to strategize and devise efficient solutions. You're presented with 3x3 matrix. Matrix consists of large squares, and each large square has 4 small squares inside. Small squares follow some sort of pattern, and this is something you need to determine and select the missing answer, which is the 9th square out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look, maybe pause this video to see if you can come up with the answer. I think I found my version of the answer, and I'm looking forward to share with you my problem-solving strategies. Let's dive into the solution together, and as usual, if you have any unique ideas, please share them in comments for everyone's benefit. To better understand the rows, let's mark each one of them with the letter. From top to bottom, the rows will be A, B, and C. Now let's look closely at the darker squares in the row A. From left to right, the darker square shifts clockwise when we go to the next item. For example, in the leftmost column, the darker square is in the upper right, then it shifts in the lower right, then it shifts to the lower left. If you look closely, the pattern continues in the row B. One important tip for you to solve these types of problems on your own is to look for the shapes shifting in clockwise or counterclockwise patterns to determine the final solution. Once we've determined the pattern, we know how to solve this challenge. The correct answer here will be choice B, where the next darker square will be in the upper right corner. Admit it or not, but deciphering this question is like teaching a penguin to fly. A real flap, but once you soar through, it's a flight of an accomplishment. I wonder if these questions are secretly evaluating our ability to navigate unconventional situations. You're presented with the circle, which contains letters inside. 3 letters are missing. You need to build English business word by selecting 3 possible letters. For choice A, the letters are A, Y, and Y. For choice B, the letters are A, E, Y. For choice C, the letters are E, T, O. And for choice D, the letters are A, and Y. Feeling challenged? It's okay, you are not alone. I feel the same way. Whether you're a seasoned solver or casual questions explorer, I have faith in your problem-solving abilities. Give it the time it deserves, think outside the box, and watch the pieces fall into place. I have full confidence that you've got what it takes. Are you ready with your solution? Still not ready? Let me give you a hint. This word represents a comprehensive plan that outlines organizations' long-term goals and objectives, along with actions and tactics required to achieve them. I am pretty sure you've got this now. The word is strategy. Strategy involves making decisions how to allocate resources, such as people, capital, and time, to gain a competitive advantage in the market. So the missing letters are A, E, and Y, and the correct choice here is B. And now I have a question for you to practice your skills. You would need to solve it on your own and post your answer in comments so I can give you my feedback. I'm sure you've got this. Here's the problem that you need to solve. You're presented with the 3x3 matrix. Matrix consists of large squares. Each large square has 4 small squares inside. There are 8 squares presented, and 9 square is missing. You need to determine and select the missing square out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a shot at this question independently, and when you're done, share your answer in comments. I'm excited to see your response and provide feedback. Thanks for participating, and may the odds be in your favor. Without a doubt, solving this problem is as tricky as trying to organize a chaos of rubber ducks in a bathtub. It's a quirky situation, but finding order is a real victory. I wonder though if this question is secretly evaluating our skills to bring order to a seemingly chaotic environment. We are entering the world of 4 squares, which have chaotically organized shapes inside. We're dealing with hollow circle, triangle, and smiley face. 4 squares have shapes in place. You need to determine the value of the 5th square, which you need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. If your mind feels chaotic and a little bit disorganized, you are not alone. I feel exactly the same way. But that's okay. Whether you're a seasoned solver or a casual questions explorer, I have full faith in your problem-solving abilities. Give it a time it deserves, think out of the box, and watch the pieces fall into place. I have full confidence that you've got what it takes. Are you ready with your solution? Or at least excited to bring order into chaotic environment? Let's tackle this puzzle together and explore the complexities and how to solve them. And don't forget to share your thoughts, ideas, and brilliance in comments. Your solution might be just the breakthrough we need. As you might have guessed, to solve this challenge, you need to identify the pattern. In fact, there are 3 patterns present in this problem. Pattern number 1 is that smiley face in the middle of the square alternates the backgrounds. Pattern number 2 is that hollow circle moves alternative directions with the incremental step for each subsequent move. And pattern number 3 is that triangle moves clockwise with double incremental steps. Let's look at the smiley face first, because that's the easiest pattern. We see that in the shape 1, smiley shape is dark gray, then it becomes white, then it's dark gray again, and in the shape 4, it's white again. So in shape 5, we can predict that it's going to be dark gray again. Unfortunately, it doesn't help us much because all choices A, B, C, and D, they have smiley face in a dark gray color. Let's look at the hollow circle. Hollow circle moves 1 step from 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock position with increment +1. In the next square, it moves 2 steps counterclockwise from 12 o'clock to 9 o'clock with increment +2. Then it moves 3 steps clockwise from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock with increment +3. So we can predict that hollow shape in shape 5 will move 4 steps counterclockwise from 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock with the increment +4. It helped us narrow down the answer choices, but we still have choices A, C, and D that still match this pattern. So to solve this mystery and bring order into this disorderly situation, we need to look at the triangle. Triangle moves clockwise with the double increment. It's only positioned in the corners, and the increments are +1, where triangle moves from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. The next increment is +2, where triangle moves from 5 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Then +4, where triangle, in fact, stays back at 11 o'clock, because +4 means the full circle. And the next one would be +8. This is the final shape 5, where triangle will also be in the same spot. Based on this, we can conclude the correct answer is choice A. Hopefully you've nailed this question on your own and now know how to answer similar problems on the test. Let's face it, navigating this question is like convincing a cat to take a bath. A tricky endeavor, but once you soak in the solution, it's a clean success. This assessment might be measuring our ability to handle slippery math expressions. In fact, you're presented with 3 of those expressions. The first one is 23 multiplied by 23 equals 25. The second one is 25 multiplied by 25 equals 49. And the third one is where you need to find the missing number. The expression is 27 by 27, and the result of it you need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 64. Choice B, 72. Choice C, 76. And last but not least, choice D, 81. Feeling a bit stuck? Well, guess what? You're not alone. I feel exactly the same way. But I'm the firm believer that you've got this. Whether you're a seasoned problem solver or just starting out, I know you can do it. Take a deep breath, approach it with creativity, and let's navigate through this challenge together. Your breakthrough is just around the corner. Are you ready with your solution? Well, or at least excited about this mental workout. Let's tackle this puzzle and explore the complexities together. And don't forget to share your brilliance, insight in comments. Your solution might be just the breakthrough we need. Did I warn you that this expression is slippery? In the typical world, 23 multiplied by 23 equals 529. But to solve this problem, we need to think out of the box. And instead of using traditional math, you need to sum up the digits and multiply the result of the sum operation. Let's look at the example. For example, 23 by 23 would be 2 plus 3 in parentheses, multiplied by 2 plus 3 would be 5 multiplied by 5, and the result of this would be 25. The second expression would be 2 plus 5 in parentheses, multiplied by 2 plus 5 in parentheses, would be equal 7 by 7 would be equal 49. So the missing number could be calculated as 2 plus 7 multiplied by 2 plus 7, which would be equal 9 multiplied by 9, or 9 squared, and would be equal to 81. So the correct answer here is choice D, 81. I love this captivating cognitive assessment test question that not only challenges your thinking, but also equips you with the problem-solving skills applicable in everyday situations. You're presented with 3 by 3 matrix. Each square in the matrix has a number, but one number is missing. The numbers are 1, 3, 5, 2, 25, then comes the missing number, and the third row of the matrix has numbers 4, 49, and 81. You need to determine and rationalize the missing number out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 16. Choice B, 25. Choice C, 36. And last but not least, choice D, 49. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. Are you ready? I think I found my solution. So let's explore the problem-solving approach together. I am eager to break it down for you step by step. And if you have a unique insights, feel free to contribute and share them in comments. If you are a frequent visitor or subscriber to this channel, it probably doesn't come to you as something new that you need to recognize the pattern. So I think the pattern here is that both column A and row 1 represent starting values that used in the calculations. For the row 1, the starting values are 1, 3, and 5, and for column A, the values are 1, 2, and 4. The values in the range of B2 through C3 are calculated values, and the value on the intersection of column and the row is calculated as sum of the column and row starting values squared. Let's look at the examples. Value B2 is calculated as the sum of 2 plus 3, which is 5, squared, which equals 25. The value in cell B3 is calculated as values 3 plus 4 squared, which is 49. And the value in the cell C3 is calculated as 5 plus 4 squared, which equals 9 squared, which equals 91. Let me give you a tip on how you can solve these types of challenges on your own. Take a look at the original question and take a look at the answers. If you look closely, all answers are squares of the numbers. The values are for choices A through D are 16, 25, 36, and 49, which are squares of 4, 5, 6, and 7. So the missing value C2 as calculated as 5 plus 2 squared, which is 7 squared, which is 49. And the correct answer here is choice D, 49. This is one of my favorite questions because it tests your analytical skills as well as your abilities to identify sequences. You're presented with the series of numbers, and you need to identify the pattern and select the option that completes the series. Take a close look at the numbers. The numbers are 2, 5, 9, 14, and 20 in the first row. Second row is 3, 6, 10, 15, and 21. The third row is 4, 8, 13, 19, and 26. And last but not least, the fourth row has the series of numbers 1, 2, 4, 7, 11, and then comes the missing number. You need to detect the pattern and select the missing number out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 17. Choice B, 16. Choice C, 23. And last but not least, choice D, 18. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. Are you ready? Because I already found my solution, so I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. The key to solve these types of challenges is obviously to identify the pattern and not to overthink it. If we look at the series of numbers, we have 4 independent rows, and each row represents an independent sequence which follows the same pattern. So what is the pattern? And the pattern here is rather simple. The next number is calculated as previous number plus the increment. An increment increases by 1 with each subsequent number. Let's look at the example on how calculations are done for the first row of numbers. In the first calculation, the increment is 3. 2 plus 3 equals 5. Then increment increases by 1, and from 3 becomes 4, which means 5 plus 4 equals 9. Then increment increases again, and 9 plus 5 equals 14. 14 plus 6 equals 20. I'm going to skip rows 2 and 3 so you can do calculations independently to practice your skills, but I am going to do the calculations for the last row. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Increment increases by 1, so 2 plus 2 equals 4. 4 plus 3 equals 7. 7 plus 4 equals 11. And last calculation, 11 plus 5 equals 16. So the correct answer here is choice A, 16. Did you get to the same answer? If not, maybe you have a better way to solve it, so please make sure to post in comments so we can all learn. Prepare to tackle this intriguing assessment test question, designed not just to test your mental math abilities, but also to foster your analytical skills, which you can use in the day-to-day life. You need to determine the missing number, which is located on the top of the pyramid. The other numbers in the pyramid are 8 and 28 in the second row, 4, 4, and 7 in the third row, and 3, 1, 4, and 3 in the fourth row. You need to calculate the missing number and select it out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 26. Choice B, 30. Choice C, 32. And last but not least, choice D, 36. Let me give you a hint. Consider that I might be trying to mislead you by the way I present the information. Maybe there is another alternative look and how you can look at this data. Are you ready? I think I found my answer, and I am thrilled to compare it with your solution. Let's continue so we can examine our strategies step by step. And if your brilliant approach is better or more efficient, don't hesitate to let us know in comments. Remember how I presented the information to you? I started from the top and went to the bottom. But in fact, you need to start from the low-level numbers and apply math operations to the low-line numbers to calculate the higher-level numbers. To confuse you even more, there are 2 math operations are alternating in the calculations, addition and multiplication. Let's look at the example so you get better understanding. Let's look at the numbers in the bottom left corner. 3 plus 1 equals 4. But 1 multiplied by 4 equals 4. Remember I told you that addition and multiplication are alternating. So the next one would be addition again. 4 plus 3 equals 7. Let's go to the row 2. 4 plus 4 equals 8. But 4 multiplied by 7 equals 28. So to calculate the top number, we need to add 8 and 28 to get to the final result of this, 36. So the correct answer here is choice D, 36. I love this thought-provoking assessment test question. In addition to boosting your reasoning skills, solving it improves your analytical skills as well as attention to details. You're presented with 3 by 3 matrix. The matrix has numbers 5, 2, 14, 3, 3, and 15, 2, 4, and then comes the missing number, which you need to calculate and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 17. Choice B, 18. Choice C, 19. And last but not least, choice D, 20. Take a close look and rationalize to see if you can come up with the answer. I think I'm getting closer to the solution. The key, I believe, is to look at the colors flow. Don't you think so? With this hint, give yourself a little bit more time to see if you can figure it out. But now that I found my solution, let's explore the problem-solving approach together. I am eager to break it down step by step for you. And as usual, if you have any unique insights, feel free to contribute in comments. I think the pattern here is that the rightmost value in each row is calculated as double of the first column's value and square of the second column numbers. Let's look at the example. For example, for the first row, the calculations might be 5 multiplied by 2 plus 2 squared, which would be equal 10 plus 4, and end result of this would be 14. For the second row, the calculations will be 3 multiplied by 2 plus 3 squared, which would be equal 6 plus 9, and end result of this would be 15. So for the missing value, the calculations will be 2 multiplied by 2 plus 4 squared, which would be equal 4 plus 16, and the end result of this would be 20. Remember the hint I gave you? The flow of colors here shows the flow of the calculations. For example, 2 and 2 are initial numbers, and 14 is the calculated number in the first row. So the correct answer here is choice D, 20. Hopefully you've nailed this question and now know how to answer similar problems on the test. Are you up for the surprise? I recommend you get used to surprises on this channel, because I've got a practice question for you. Try solving it on your own and share your response in the comment section. I'm here to review your answer and provide you feedback. You're presented with the list of 4 cities. Choice A, London. Choice B, Paris. Choice C, Sydney. And choice D, Tokyo. You need to identify the location that is different from the others. Take a close look, maybe pause this video to see if you can come up with the answer. I have full confidence that you watched enough videos on this channel and maybe even became a subscriber, and your abilities are up to the task. So go ahead and tackle this question solo. Afterward, share your answer in comments of this video. I'll be here to give you my feedback and guidance. Thanks for getting involved and best of luck. Here's the question where you might struggle to get to the correct answer, but I have full confidence that you'll be able to solve this challenge. You're presented with the sequence of numbers. The numbers are 1, 3, 11, and then comes the missing number. You need to determine the missing number and rationalize your solution by selecting one of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 17. Choice B, 29. Choice C, 57. And last but not least, choice D, 123. I would recommend you run this question through the most common patterns you have in your mind, so you can get to the correct answer. Are you ready to compare solutions? Awesome! Let me transition into revealing the answer to this question. I'll share with you my take, and if you came up with the different or perhaps more efficient approach, feel free to drop it in comments below. If you are a subscriber or perhaps a frequent visitor to this channel, you know that the key to solving this challenge is to determine the pattern. And the pattern here is that next number is calculated as a square value of the previous number plus 2. Let's look at the example. The first number is 1. 1 square plus 2 equals 3. Then comes the next number, which is calculated as 3 square plus 2, which equals 11. So the missing number calculation would be 11 square, which equals 121 plus 2, which would be equal 123. So the correct answer here is choice D, 123. What's interesting about the question I'm about to present you is that it truly tests your analytical skills. You need to determine which number comes next in the sequence, and you're presented with the sequence of 6 numbers where 7th number is missing. The sequence is 23, 11, 20, 12, 18, 14, and then comes the missing number, which you need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 17. Choice B, 16. Choice C, 22. And last but not least, choice D, 20. Take a close look, maybe do mental math calculations to see if you can come up with the answer. Seems unsolvable, isn't it? But be sure that the answer will look so simple as soon as I reveal it, just like in a magic trick. Maybe give yourself additional 15 to 20 seconds to see if you can come up with the answer. Are you ready? Because on my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. If you are a frequent visitor or a subscriber to this channel, you know the rule. And rule is to find the pattern. But in this particular question, there are two independent patterns. Let's look closely so I can share them with you. The numbers 23, 20, 18, and 17 represent first pattern. And the next number is calculated by subtracting decrementing number from the previous number. Let's look at the example. 23 minus 3 equals 20. 20 minus 2 equals 18. You see that the 3 is decremented by 1 to get to 2. The next number is calculated as 18 minus 1, which is decrement from 2, equals 17. The even numbers, 11, 12, 14, and then the missing number, are calculated using the different pattern. In fact, the opposite pattern, where instead of decrement, we use increment. Let's look at the examples. 11 plus 1 equals 12. Then we increase 1 by additional number, and we increment 12 by 2, which leads us to a result of 14. Then the next number, the missing number, is calculated as 14 plus 3, which would be equal to 17. So the correct answer here is choice A, 17. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. I love this question because it tests your spatial reasoning, and if you try to solve it on your own, it boosts your IQ and intelligence. You're presented with unusually looking shape, which have some measurements, and you need to calculate the perimeter of the given shape and select it out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 6 feet. Choice B, 10 feet. Choice C, 12 feet. And last but not least, choice D, 14 feet. Take a close look to see if you can calculate the answer. I am pretty sure if you're a subscriber to this channel and practice these types of problems regularly, you'll do it easily. On my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better solution, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. As you might be well aware, to calculate the perimeter, you need to add up the length of all the sides. In our object, we're presented with the steps that have measurements. And this object also has solid sides at the bottom and on the left. So first, let's calculate the perimeter of the steps. The top sides are all 1 feet, and the heights of every step is also 1 feet. So the steps would be calculated 1 feet plus 1 feet, plus 1 feet plus 1 feet, and then you do it 6 times because it has 6 sides, which means that perimeter of all the steps would be 6 feet. The bottom area, based on the measurements, would be 3 feet, and the left area would be 3 feet as well. So the total perimeter would be 6 feet for the steps, then 3 for the bottom, and we also need to add 3 feet for the left area, which would total to 12 feet. So the correct answer here is choice C, 12 feet. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your solution and rationale in comments. Some problems really make you think, and this is one of those challenges. You need to calculate the missing number, and you're presented with 2 rows of numbers. The first row contains numbers 12 and 16 on the outside, and on the inside you have number 56 in the brackets. The second row contains numbers 17 and 21 on the outside, and then comes the missing number in the middle in the brackets. You need to calculate and select the missing number out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 66. Choice B, 86. Choice C, 76. And last but not least, choice D, 96. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the answer. I am going to give you a quick hint here. Try to differentiate the numbers on the inside the brackets and on the outside of the brackets. Are you ready? I hope you are, because I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To solve this challenge, let's look at the first row. First row has the numbers 12 and 16 on the outside and number 56 on the inside the brackets. The pattern that you needed to recognize is that the middle number inside the brackets is calculated as double sum of numbers outside of the brackets. Let me show you the example. For example, 56 is calculated as 12 by 2 plus 16 by 2, which would result in 24 plus 32, which would be equal to 56. Same way, the missing number can be calculated. 17 multiplied by 2 plus 21 multiplied by 2 would be equal to 34 plus 22 and would be equal to 76. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer, solution, and rationale in comments. Here's the very interesting question, which tests your ability to find solutions to unusual problems. You're presented with 4 expressions, and in fourth expression, the result of the expression is missing. Let's look at each expression closely. The first expression is 4 plus 2 equals 26. Something's definitely going on with this expression here. Second one is 8 plus 1 equals 79. Same thing here. And the third one is 6 plus 5 equals 111. In fourth expression, 7 plus 3, you need to find the result, which is presented as the missing number represented by question mark. And you have 4 choices to select from. Choice A, 608. Choice B, 410. Choice C, 290. And last but not least, choice D, 375. Take a close look to this unusual set of expressions to see if you can come up with the solution. Are you ready? Let me give you a quick hint. What if you introduce into this set of expressions not just the plus sign, but also a minus sign? Would that make any difference? I hope the hint was helpful, because I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have figured out, we are not dealing with typical math expressions here, because the pattern here is that the last 2 digits are calculated based on the 2 expressions, subtraction and addition. Let's look at the example. The first expression is presented to us as 4 plus 2 equals 26, but numbers in 26 are calculated differently. For example, first number 2 is calculated as 4 minus 2. This is where I gave you a hint of using not just the plus sign, but also look at the minus sign. And the second digit in 26, which is 6, is calculated as 4 plus 2 equals 6. Now let's look at the second expression. Second expression's result is calculated as 8 minus 1 equals 7, and then 8 plus 1 equals 9. The third expression is 6 minus 5 is 1, and 6 plus 5 is 11. That's where we get a 3-digit number, 111. And now we can calculate the final fourth expression, which is calculated as 7 minus 3, so the first digit would be 4. And then we calculate it as 7 plus 3, which would be 10. So the correct answer here is choice B, 410. Did you figure it out? Or did you find a different solution? Please make sure to share your solution and rationale in comments. Are you ready to exercise your brain neurons? I've encountered an amazing question from the real test that's like a mental marathon for your brain, and I would like you to solve it on your own. You need to calculate the price of the discounted item. The item was discounted by 20%, and the new price is $72. You need to calculate the original price and select it out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, $90. Choice B, $93. Choice C, $96. And last but not least, choice D, $99. Take a solo lap around this problem, and when you're ready to compare notes, I'll be waiting in the comments section with my coaching hat on. Let's the cognitive game begin. Here's a very interesting question where answer is absolutely not obvious. You're presented with interestingly looking shapes. On top of the shape is triangle. On the bottom left and on the bottom right, there are squares. There are numbers inside the triangle, and there are also numbers inside the squares. Let's take a close look. The first object has number 5 inside the triangle, and number 3 in the left square, and number 17 in the right square. Second object has number 4 inside the triangle, and numbers 5 and 22 inside the squares. The third object has number 3 inside the square, and numbers 8 and 26 inside the squares. The fourth object has number 2 inside of the triangle, number 7 in the left square, and then comes the missing number inside the right square. And did I mention that all objects are of different colors? If we go from left to right, we start with red on the left, next goes light blue, yellow, and then darker blue. And obviously you're the one who needs to make sense out of it and calculate the missing number. Once calculated, select the final answer out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 14. Choice B, 25. Choice C, 16. And last but not least, choice D, 20. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. Are you ready? Because on my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. If you're a frequent visitor to this channel, or even better if you're a subscriber, you probably know that the key to solving these types of challenges is to understand the pattern. And the pattern here is that the number in the right square is calculated. And it's calculated by multiplying the number inside of the triangle onto the left square number. And on top of this multiplication, you also add 2 to the end result of the calculation. Let's look at the example. If we multiply 5 by 3 in the first object, the end result of this calculation would be 15. Then we add 2 to 15, and that's how we get to the number in the right square, which is 17. Let's look at the second example. 4 multiplied by 5 equals 20, plus 2 equals 22. Now let's move to the third object. 3 multiplied by 8 is 24, plus 2 equals 26. And now comes the missing number. To calculate it, we need to multiply 2 by 7, which would be equal to 14, and then add 2, and end result of this would be 16. So the correct answer here is choice C, 16. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. Here's a very interesting question where you need to calculate the missing number. You're presented with 4 circles. Each circle is of a different color. The first circle has number 1 inside of it. Second circle has number 2. Third circle has number 5 inside. And last circle has the missing number represented by the question mark. You need to calculate and select final answer out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 24. Choice B, 26. Choice C, 16. And last but not least, choice D, 20. Take a close look to see if you can calculate the final answer. Are you ready? I hope you found the answer because it's so easy to calculate. Let's move forward so I can share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I keep repeating myself when I say that finding pattern is the key to solve this challenge. And the pattern here is that the next number is calculated as a square value of the previous number plus 1. Let's look at the example. The first number is given, which is 1. Second number is calculated as 1 square plus 1 and equals 2. The third number is calculated as 2 square plus 1 and equals 5, which means that the missing number is calculated as 5 square, which would be equal to 25, plus 1, which would be equal to 26. So the correct answer here is choice B, 26. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. Improving your pattern recognition skills is the key to pass the test. It will help you to solve problems faster and better understand the test format. It also enhances your critical thinking skills and boosts your confidence. There are many different types of numerical patterns, each one with the unique characteristics and applications. Let me give you some examples of the most common numerical patterns. One of the most popular patterns is arithmetic sequence. The arithmetic sequence is the sequence of numbers where each term is obtained by adding a fixed number called the common difference to the previous term. For example, numbers 2, 5, 8, 11, 14 represent arithmetic sequence with a common difference of 3. Number 2 on the list would be geometric sequence. A geometric sequence is a sequence of numbers where each term is obtained by multiplying the previous term by a fixed number called a common ratio. Let's look at the example. Numbers 2, 4, 8, 16, and 32 represent geometric sequence with a common ratio of 2. And last but not least on my list is Fibonacci sequence. Fibonacci sequence is a sequence of numbers where each term is obtained by adding the two previous terms together, starting with 0. For example, the first 10 terms in the Fibonacci sequence would be 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, and 34. Do you know any other interesting numerical patterns I didn't mention here? Please make sure to post them in comments so we can all learn. And now let's continue and get you ready for the assessment test. Here's an interesting cognitive abilities test question to see how well you can deal with abstract concepts. You're presented with 3 expressions. In each expression, there are shapes and numbers. The first expression is triangle plus triangle equals 6. The second expression is circle plus circle plus circle equals 12. And the third expression is where you have triangle plus circle, and you need to calculate the end result of this calculation. Once calculated, you need to select the answer out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 5. Choice B, 7. Choice C, 9. And last but not least, choice D, 11. Take a close look to see if you can complete the calculations. Are you ready? Let me share with you my version of the answer here, and obviously if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I mentioned abstract reasoning concepts because you need to associate each shape with the number. For example, in the first expression, we have one triangle plus second triangle equals 6. Both triangles are the same, which means that the one triangle's number can be calculated and associated with number 3. We can do similar math with the circles. 3 circles equal 12, which means that one circle would be equal to 4. So triangle equals 3, circle equals to 4, and triangle plus circle would be equal to 7. So the correct answer here is choice B, 7. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. I enjoy solving pattern questions because they're so easy to understand, but sometimes not so easy to solve. We're presented with the sequence of numbers, and we need to find the missing number, which is the next in the sequence. The numbers are 25, 20, 16, 13, 11, and then comes the missing number. You need to calculate the missing number out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Choice A is 8, choice B is 10, choice C is 7, and choice D is 9. Take a close look to see if you can do the calculations and come up with the solution for the missing number. Looks confusing, isn't it? But believe me, there's a hope at the end of the tunnel. And I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. Here we have a concept of decrement. And the pattern is that the next number is calculated as previous number minus decrement. And decrement increases by 1 with each number in the sequence. Let's take a close look. Our first number in the sequence is 25. And our first initial decrement is minus 5. 25 minus 5 equals 20, and this is how we come to the second number. Then we decrease decrement by 1, and the decrement becomes minus 4. 20 minus 4 equals 16. 16 minus 3 equals 13. 13 minus 2 equals 11, and 11 minus 1 equals 10. So the correct answer here is choice B, 10. Was your answer different? Please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments then, so we can all learn. Here's a puzzling question for you, but I have full confidence that you can solve it quickly. You're presented with 4x4 matrix, and the numbers are starting in the upper left corner, 9, 8, 3, 4. The second row numbers are 2, 9, 2, and then comes the missing number. The third row starts with 4, 6, 2, 0. And last but not least row is 7, 6, 2, and 6. You need to calculate the missing number, and you have 4 different choices to select from. Choice A, 2. Choice B, 5. Choice C, 6. And last but not least, choice D, 7. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. Did you get to the right answer? I hope you did, because I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. You're probably tired of hearing this in this channel, but to solve these types of challenges, you need to detect the pattern. And the pattern here is that the last two digits are equal to the sum of the first two digits multiplied by 2. Let's look at the example. The first row contains numbers 9, 8, 3, 4. And the expression here is that 9 plus 8 in parentheses multiplied by 2 equals 34. Based on this logic, the third number would be 4 plus 6 in parentheses multiplied by 2, which would be equal to 20, which represents the set of numbers 4, 6, and then 20. And then the last row would be 7 plus 6 in parentheses multiplied by 2, which would be 13 multiplied by 2, which would be equal to 26. So the missing number would be calculated as 2 plus 9 multiplied by 2 equals 22. So the correct answer here is choice A, 2. Did you get to the same answer? If you didn't, or maybe you got to a different answer, please make sure to post your version in comments. And now it's time for you to grab your thinking goggles. I have a question for you that you need to solve on your own. And the question is so intricate, Sherlock Holmes would need a cheat sheet. You're presented with 2 diamonds. Each diamond has 4 numbers inside. In the first diamond, which is on the left, the numbers are 8, 6, 2, and 4. And in the second diamond on the right, the numbers are 5, 2, 2, and then comes the missing number, which you need to calculate and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 1. Choice B, 3. Choice C, 5. And last but not least, choice D, 7. Take on this challenge alone, and when you've emerged victorious, share your triumph in comments. I have full confidence that you can do it. Thanks for participating, and good luck solving this challenge. Here's an amazing problem where you need to exercise your brain and cognitive skills by calculating not just one number, but 2 numbers. You're presented with the scale, and you see that the value of diamond as well as the sum values are missing. And you need to ensure that scale remains balanced by calculating the value of the diamond as well as the sum. And once you've done with your calculations, you need to select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, values 18 and 96. Choice B, values 12 and 88. Choice C, values 20 and 92. And last but not least, choice D, values 19 and 94. Take a close look, maybe pause this video to see if you can complete the calculations. On my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the calculations. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. To solve this challenge, let's look at the picture closely to better understand what we're dealing with. We're presented with the multi-tier scale, and this scale has 4 tiers: Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and Tier 4. Scale remains in balance because values on the left side and on the right side are equal, and the values are represented by the total of numbers inside of each shape. For example, circle has number 12, hexagon has number 6, triangle has number 3, and square has number 4. Let's look closely at Tier 3 to better understand how this tier remains in balance. As I already mentioned, each tier remains in balance because the numbers are equal on both sides. So on the left of the Tier 3, we have 2 hexagons with total value of 12. On the right of the Tier 3, we have hexagon, which equals number 6, plus 2 triangles, 3 plus 3. So on both sides, the total value is 12. This is why Tier 3 remains in balance. Now let's look closely at the Tier 2. On the left of the Tier 2, we have 2 circles. Each circle has a value of 12. 2 circles would be equal 24. On the left of the Tier 2, we have 2 circles with total value of 24, and the entire Tier 3, which also equals 24. This what keeps Tier 2 in balance. Now, knowing this logic, we can calculate the missing value on Tier 4. Because Tier 4 needs to remain in balance, the value of 12 plus 6 should be equal to the missing value, which means that the missing value is 18. And the total sum will be calculated as the sum of all the numbers. The sum of Tier 2 and Tier 3 would be 24 plus 24 plus 48 on the right side of Tier 1, which would equal 96. So the correct answer here is choice A, 18 and 96. Did you get to the different answer? Please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. Here's one of my favorite questions where you need to look at the image and calculate the missing number. You're presented with 4 triangles. One triangle in the middle is larger than the others, and it has number 3 inside. There are 3 other triangles at the tips of the big triangle. The numbers inside those smaller triangles, if we start with the bottom right triangle, are 5, 9, and then comes the missing number, which you need to calculate and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 13. Choice B, 15. Choice C, 17. And last but not least, choice D, 21. Take a close look to see if you can complete the calculations and make the right choice. Did you figure it out? I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. If you are a frequent visitor to this channel, you know the rule. And the rule is, to complete the calculations and solve the challenge, you need to understand the pattern. And the pattern here is very simple. It's a counterclockwise navigations when you do the calculations. You start with the smallest number 3, and then calculate number 5, calculate number 9, and then calculate the missing number. In this pattern, to calculate the next number in the sequence, you need to double the previous number and subtract 1. Let's look at the example. The first number is 3. To calculate the next number, we need to add 3 plus 3, then subtract 1, and the end result of this is 5. Let's go to the next number. 5 plus 5 minus 1 equals 9. That's how we got the number on top in the small triangle. And now let's calculate the missing number. 9 plus 9 minus 1 equals 17. So the correct answer here is choice C, 17. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your rationale and solution in comments. Here's one of those types of questions where if you are a frequent viewer in this channel, or maybe even a subscriber, you will be able to solve easily. You're presented with 3 patterns. 1 by 2 plus 3, 2 multiplied by 3 plus 4, 3 multiplied by 4 plus 5, and then comes the missing pattern you need to detect and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 3 by 5 plus 4. Choice B, 4 by 5 plus 6. Choice C, 1 by 3 plus 4. And last but not least, choice D, 5 multiplied by 2 plus 3. Take a close look to see if you can detect the pattern. Are you ready? The key is not to overthink this problem. And to detect the pattern, you need to look at the number in the left column. If you look closely, you will see that the numbers in the left column are 1, 2, and 3, which means that the next number in the sequence should be number 4. If you look closely, you will see that the numbers in expression increment by 1 with each math operation, so that the number in the final expression would be 4 multiplied by 5 plus 6, which matches the choice B. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer, solution, and rationale in comments. Here's the very interesting question, which is frequently used to test your analytical reasoning and spatial reasoning. You are presented with the set of objects, and you need to find the missing item. The set of objects consists of 3 rows. In the first row, you see the pigeon, arrow, and then the pigeon again. In the second row, you see the flower, arrow, and then the flower again. Then in the third row, you see the car, the arrow, and then comes the missing item. You need to select the missing item out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the solution. If you can't figure it out, consider pausing this video to see if you can get to the answer. Are you ready? I am moving forward to share with you my version and my rationale for the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, or if you have a better explanation, please make sure to post in comments. The actual answer to the question is very simple, but the question was designed to confuse you. The objects that you see on the left of the arrow and on the right of the arrow are reflections of each other. What's interesting here is that the objects are mirror images reflected either horizontally or vertically. You determine the axis of reflection based not on the direction of the arrow, but based on the direction which is rotated 90 degrees to the direction actually shown. Let's look at the actual example. Because the direction of the first arrow in the first row goes from top to bottom, the pigeon actually is reflected horizontally, not vertically. And to get to the correct answer, you need to rotate the pigeon 180 degrees. Let's look at the second object. We see the flowers with the yellow flower being on the left. And once we do the conversion, basically vertical reflection, because the arrow goes from left to right, we see that the yellow flower is now on the right. So the pattern here is that the arrow points to perpendicular direction of the actual reflection. For example, vertical direction of the arrow results in horizontal reflection and vice versa. Let's look at the third row to get to the correct answer. Because arrow goes from top to bottom, we need to use horizontal reflection, which means that the correct answer here is choice A. Did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. Are you ready to test your English verbal reasoning skills? Here's the question where you need to build English business word using 9 letters on the screen. The letters are K, M, N, A, E, I, G, R, T. The key condition here is that you need to use each letter only once. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the word. Do you think you need more time? I'm gonna give you a quick hint. The word represents the process of identifying, anticipating, and satisfying customer needs and wants through the creation, promotion, and distribution of goods and services. Do you know it? I'm pretty sure you figured it out by now. The answer is marketing. Marketing involves understanding of customer behavior, market research, product development, pricing strategies, advertising and promotions, sales and distribution. Do you see any other conditions that would meet the criteria? Please make sure to post your answer in comments. Here's an amazing question to test your spatial reasoning. You're presented with the 3-dimensional view, and you need to select view from the opposite side out of 4 possible choices. The choices are A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can select the right solution. Please look closely, as it may not be as easy as it seems. Are you ready? Because I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And if you have a better way to solve it, obviously please make sure to post in comments. If your answer to this question was choice C, you answered it correctly. There are 4 objects on the original 3-dimensional image. We have a duck, we have a basketball, we have a smartphone, and we have a hammer, which is barely noticeable on the original picture. And the easiest way to solve this challenge is to select one object and track it on the opposite side. I selected a duck, but you can as well select a hammer or a smartphone. It is a little bit harder with the ball because it's in the middle and it's a symmetrical object. So let's go back to the duck. If you look at the original image, you see that the duck is looking to the left, and it is on the left side of the ball, which means that if we look from the opposite side, the duck will be looking to the right and would be on the right side of the ball. We frequently see these types of questions on the test, so to help you solve these types of challenges, here are the views of these objects from different sides. Take a look at these objects from the right, from the left side, and take a look at this set of objects when duck and the ball have changed the position. I wanted to ask you, did you get to the same answer? If not, please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments, as well as you can supplement it with some tips on how to solve these types of challenges. And now I have a surprise question for you. You're presented with the maze, which misses one section. You need to complete the maze by selecting 1 out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can find the missing piece. And once ready, make sure to post your answer in comments so I can share with you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck. Here's one of my favorite questions, which tests your spatial reasoning skills. Imagine yourself as a maze designer, and you're building a maze that consists of 6 pieces. 5 pieces are in place, and you need to design the 6th piece. You can select the final piece out of 4 possible choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the right solution. Keep in mind, I'm gonna give you a hint, that every maze should have an entry point as well as the exit point. Are you ready? I am moving forward because I can't wait, and I'm going to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have guessed, the correct answer here is choice A. But why? To build the correct maze, missing shape has to match and continue the lines, as well as provide the continuity for the maze's pathways, as well as exit and entry points. Once we put shape A in place, you can see that we can continue the pathway from top to the bottom, and then continue the horizontal pathways from left to right on both middle pathway, as well as the most bottom pathway. You can also see that built maze has the entry point on the top left, as well as the exit point on the bottom right, even though they could be used interchangeably. To verify that we found the correct solution, let's look at the choices B, C, and D to make sure that they're incorrect. Let's start with choice B. If we place it, it doesn't meet all the conditions. Same with choices C and choice D. They either do not continue the lines or do not provide entry and exit points into the maze. Most likely, you will not be able to pass the test without getting questions similar to this one. You're presented with the 3 sets of numbers. Each set has 3 numbers in the group, and 1 number is missing. The first set has numbers 6, 4, and 34. The second set has numbers 8, 5, and 53. And the last set has numbers 9, 2, and the final last number in the third set is missing. You need to calculate the missing number and select it out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 34. Choice B, 29. Choice C, 63. Choice D, 41. Take a close look to see if you can complete the calculations. I'm going to give you a quick hint. See if there's a relationship between the top 2 numbers and the bottom number. But this is about as much as I'm gonna give you, because I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I think there is a very interesting and unusual pattern here between the top 2 numbers and the bottom number. In fact, the lower number is calculated as a result of multiplications plus the sum of additions of the upper numbers. Let's look at the example. For example, the first set of numbers is calculated as 6 multiplied by 4 plus sum of 6 and 4, which would equal 24 plus 10 and equals 34. The next set of numbers is calculated as 8 multiplied by 5 plus sum of 8 and 5, which would equal 40 plus 13, which would be equal to 53. This allows us to do the calculations on the final set and the missing number. 9 multiplied by 2 plus the sum of 9 and 2 equals 18 plus 11 and equals 29. So the correct answer here is choice B, 29. Did you figure it out? Please make sure to post your answer and solution if you have a different one in comments. Here's a phenomenal question where you need to determine the next item in the sequence. You're presented with the series of squares. Each square has different shapes inside. 3 squares do have shapes, and the 4th square is missing, and you need to select it out of 4 possible choices. The choices are A, B, C, and D. Take a close look to see if you can identify the missing item. Did you figure it out? See if you need to pause this video to get more time and solve the solution. Because on my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. If you take a close look at the shapes inside the square, each shape has a position 1, 2, and 3, going from left to right. You can also notice that there are 3 different shapes inside the boxes: a filled circle, a white circle, and a diamond. Another important consideration is that the colors of the circles do not change. But unlike colors of the circles, the color of the diamond changes from filled to empty and then from empty to filled. You can also notice that all shapes shift 1 position to the left. The first shape becomes the last, then changes position to the middle, and then back to the first position. Now, as you learned about the pattern, you can calculate that the answer here is choice B. Hopefully you've nailed this question on your own and now know how to answer similar problems on the test. Calculating missing items is one of my favorite questions, especially considering the fact that calculations are very simple. You're presented with two rows of values. The first row contains values 1, C, 5, and then comes the missing value. In the second row contains values A, 3, E, and then comes the missing value. You need to select the calculated combination out of 4 different choices. Choice A, G7. Choice B, B3. Choice C, F6. And last but not least, choice D, H8. Take a close look to see if you can do the calculations. Consider pausing the video to better understand the question, because on my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to show in comments. I believe the correct answer here is choice A, G7. And here's why. I see the pattern that every letter here is skipped. Let's take a look. If we start with the bottom letter A, then comes letter B, but then we see letter C in the second column. Then comes letter D, which is skipped, and then we see the letter E, which means that the letter F will be skipped, and we will see the letter G. Same is true for the numbers, because only odd numbers are displayed. We see numbers 1, 3, and 5. Numbers 2, 4, and 6 are skipped, which means that the missing number is 7. This is why I believe the correct choice here is choice A, G7. Did you figure it out? Or maybe you have a better solution? Please make sure to post your answer and solution in comments. Here's a phenomenal question where you need to find the missing number. You're presented with almost 3 by 3 shape, which contains evergreen trees, numbers, and the question mark. Based on what you see, you need to calculate the missing number, and you have 4 different choices. Choice A, 2. Choice B, 7. Choice C, 3. And choice D, 4. Take a close look to see if you can come up with the logic and the answer. On my end, I am moving forward to share with you my version of the solution. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have guessed, what we see on the picture are mathematical expressions. For example, the sum of 2 evergreen trees is 3, which is represented by the top row. The same is true for the middle column. Sum of 2 evergreen trees equals to 6, which means that 1 evergreen tree equals to 3. Now we can calculate the missing number, which would be the result of 5 minus 3, which would be equal to 2. So the correct answer here is choice A, 2. Did you come up with the different answer? Please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. Here's the problem some people might find challenging, but in reality, it's very easy to solve. You're presented with the circle, broken down into 8 sections. In each section, there is a number, and in one section, number is missing, and you need to calculate the missing number. If we start with the 8 o'clock, the numbers that are present are 39, 5, 9, 8, 13, 15, 3, and then comes the missing number. You need to calculate the missing number out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 20. Choice B, 24. Choice C, 30. And choice D, 36. Take a close look, maybe pause this video to see if you can calculate the solution. I hope you did it successfully and have your selection, because I am moving forward to share with you my version of the answer. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I believe the correct answer is choice B, 24. And here's why. I think the number on the opposite sides of the circle sections are 3 times larger than the numbers on the other side. Let's take a close look. For example, the numbers on the opposite sides of the 5 o'clock section and 10 o'clock sections are 3 and 9. And 9 is 3 times larger than 3. The next set of numbers is 5 and 15. And 5 multiplied by 3 equals 15. The next set is 13 and 39. And obviously, if you multiply 13 by 3, you will get to 39. Let's take a look at the missing number. Because number 8, which is on the opposite section, cannot be a result of multiplication of any number by 3, this means that the missing number is a result of 8 multiplied by 3 equals 24. This is why I think the correct answer here is choice B, 24. Did your calculations lead you to the same answer? If they didn't, please make sure to share your answer and solution in comments. Here's a tricky problem which you might find challenging to solve. You're presented with 3 images and you need to find the missing number. All 3 images have berms and evergreen trees on top of the berms. First 2 of the images have numbers 15 and 50 at the bottom, and the third image is missing the number and instead has a question mark, which you need to calculate and select out of 4 possible choices. Choice A, 74. Choice B, 98. Choice C, 109. And last but not least, choice D, 117. Take a close look, maybe pause this video to see if you can come up with the solution. On my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version. And obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. As you might have calculated, the correct answer here is choice D, 117. Let's take a close look why. If you take a close look at the images, you will see that each image contains trees, each tree contains a certain number of branches, and trees are placed on the berms. The pattern is calculated as number of trees multiplied by number of branches on the trees, and you incrementally add the number of berms to calculate the number at the bottom. Let's look closely at each one of the images. First image has 2 trees with 7 branches and 1 berm, and the calculation would be 2 multiplied in parentheses 3 plus 4 plus 1, which would be an equivalent of 14 plus 1 equals 15. Second image has 4 trees with 12 branches and 2 berms, and the calculations will be 4 multiplied in parentheses 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 2, and then you add 2 to the calculated value. The end result of this calculation for image 2 will be 50. For the third image, which has 6 trees with 19 branches and 3 berms, the calculations will be 6 multiplied 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, and then you add 3 to the calculated total. The end result of it, 117. Do you have a better solution to solve this challenge? Please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. A lot of viewers on this channel ask me how to increase their IQ scores. Even though methods might be different from person to person, let me share with you 3 ways that help me to stay in shape. I love listening to classical music. I believe that this helps improve your analytical skills as well as spatial reasoning skills. Also, I like playing sports and I go to the gym to do vigorous exercises. I think this helps me to increase oxygen levels in the blood as well as to keep your brain more active. After a certain age, staying active helps you to increase your reactions as well as IQ. And last but not least, I like to stay hydrated. I drink a lot of green tea, Earl Grey tea, coffee, and vitamin water throughout the day to help me stay energized. You can use these tips to prepare specifically for the test or to change your daily habits and stay sharper day after day. Do you have tips of your own on how to keep your brain in shape? Please make sure to share in comments so we can all learn. And now let's continue and get you ready for the test. Here's a puzzling question which you might find difficult to solve, but the solution is really simple. You're presented with 4 scales and you need to calculate the missing number. First scale contains 3 pentagons on the left and number 90 on the right. Second scale contains 1 pentagon and 2 bagels on the left and number 50 on the right. Third scale contains 2 pentagons, 1 circle and 1 bagel on the left and number 90 on the right. And then the last scale contains 1 pentagon, 1 circle and 2 bagels on the left and then missing number on the right. You need to select the missing number out of 4 different choices. Choice A, 60. Choice B, 65. Choice C, 70. and then choice D, 75. Take a close look to see if you can do the calculations and come up with the right solution. On my end, I'm moving forward to share with you my version of the answer, and obviously if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post in comments. I think the key to solve this challenge is to understand what is being asked. You see shapes on the left of the scale and the number on the right, which means that the combination of the shapes is equal to the number. To solve the problem, you need to go from scale to scale and calculate the shape's value. Let's start with the scale 1. It has 3 pentagons on the left and number 90 on the right, which means that each pentagon has a value of 30. Second scale contains 1 pentagon and then 2 bagels, and the combination of these shapes equals number 50. We already know the value of pentagon, which is 30. All we need to do is divide the remainder of the calculations 50 minus 30, which equals to 20, by 2, because there are 2 bagels, and calculate the value of bagel, which is 10. On the next scale, we have 2 pentagons, 1 circle, and 1 bagel, and the combination of these shapes equals to 90. Let's do the math. 30 plus 30, which is the value of 2 pentagons, plus 10 equals 70, which means that the circle equals 90 minus 70, which equals to 20. Now we know the values of all the shapes. Pentagon equals 30, bagel equals 10, and then circle equals 20, and we can calculate the missing number. 30 plus 20 plus 10 plus 10 equals 70, which means the correct answer is choice C, 70. Did you come up with the same solution? If not, please make sure to post your answer and rationale in comments. Here's one of my favorite questions, which requires you to use your critical skills and imagination. You need to find the missing number, and you're presented with 3 different expressions. First expression is 13 multiplied by 13 equals 16. Second expression is 15 multiplied by 15 equals 36. And last expression, the one that's missing the number, is 17 multiplied by 17 equals missing number. You have 4 different choices to select from. Choice A, 56. Choice B, 64. Choice C, 72. And choice D, 81. Take a close look, maybe pause this video to see if you can come up with the answer. Did you figure it out? The answer is so simple, so when you learn it, you'll be very surprised. Because the correct answer, choice B, 64, is calculated very easily. The pattern here is that instead of using traditional numbers in calculations, you need to add the digits and then multiply them to get to the correct solution. So let's look at the first expression. 13 multiplied by 13 equals 16. In reality, you need to sum up 1 plus 3, then multiply at another expression 1 plus 3, which would be 4 multiplied by 4, which would be equal 16. For second expression, you need to add in parentheses 1 plus 5, multiplied another expression in parentheses 1 plus 5, would be equal 6 multiplied by 6, which would be equals 36. To calculate final expression, you need to add 1 plus 7, which would be equal to 8, multiplied by another expression 1 plus 7, which would be equal to 8 multiplied by 8, and it would be equal to choice B, 64. What was your experience solving this challenge? Please describe in comments. And if you're getting ready for the assessment test and need to get prepared, please make sure to check out the link to the ebook in the description of this video. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you for helping us to become one of the largest YouTube channels to help people become smarter, increase your IQ, and to pass any test. If the content of this video was helpful, please make sure to click the like button to help YouTube algorithm promote this video and help other people to find it faster. Giving us a like is also a way for you to tell us that you need more content like this, and when you tell us, we will deliver it for you in the future. For links to free and premium resources, please check the description and comments of this video. You can also go directly to our website, howtoanalyzedata.net, to download the materials related to this topic. I really appreciate your endorsement, support, and patronage of this channel. And thank you for considering to become a member and considering to subscribe. Please leave feedback, suggestions, or corrections in comments. And all the best on your journey. I'll see you in my next video.